Hi, this is Greg again with Duff Makes It. Continuing with the 58 Chevy truck build. Here you see the engine installed and starting to install some parts. I'm talking in the video, but I'm talking over the video. I decided not to use that audio. But here you can just see the headway I made so far. I got the rear glass in with a new rubber around the glass. That glass was the original glass. It was good, so I used it. All the other glass in the truck is new. Of course, all the running gears are new. A lot of new stuff, a lot of new parts on this truck. The back panel there, where I got the speakers, I made some speaker boxes. You can't see there, probably a little bit too dark, but made some speaker boxes. I made those where they just kind of snapped in there, and I heated those with a heat gun to bend them. It's a styrene type material of 1/8 inch thick, and I bent it with a heat gun and made it form fit inside there. And then of course I'm showing you where that iPad mount that I didn't use, and some of the other parts, the new paint and all. Just kind of going through it here. The new brakes on the rear and the gas tank. I've started wiring all that up, putting a pump and all in there. Then walking around the truck, looking at some of the other things I did. Just clear coated. I clear coated the whole truck after I sanded it down, then clear coated it. It needs at this point it needs it again. It needs to be resanded down and re-clear coated. I just kind of halfway did it when I first did it, but it's starting to come together, and it's got a really neat patina to it. Got the front suspension on and brake booster there. Transmission's mounted in it. And bolted, and then those the areas for the seat. The seat I used just happened to fit really well. It's like a later model Chevy seat, but it fit real well. Right there, I'm showing the engine mounts that I made. I have some really thick material. All the sound deadening I put in there. Drive shaft, I had to have the drive shaft lengthened a little bit and balanced. And I got the at this point I think the exhaust system is temporarily put in. It wasn't finished. You can see right there where the ends of the mufflers are. They're not. There's nothing attached to them, so it's not finished yet at this point. There's the steering, and this I just was mocking up the exhaust, and I had to end up obviously cutting and doing a lot of work to it to get it to fit and all. I used an existing setup that was come out of a Mustang, and of course it didn't line up at all, but I just needed to see where I was starting from so I could cut and refit. the parts. It probably might have been even easier just to start from scratch, but I already had it, so I used it and it was free. So again, this was a budget build, so the brakes set up. There, new disc brakes, new calipers, new brake line, new everything on it, as far as the mechanicals and that sort of thing. And just continuing to show you around. There's all the new parts inside the brakes. I had to look up online to see how those things all fit in there, and I'm not sure really at this point that I got even those cylinders, the brake cylinders there that you see in there. I'm not sure that I got the correct ones, but I think those are working. I didn't know what this came out of exactly, and when you go to a parts store to try and find this stuff, they don't really know either. So you're kind of guessing. And the good news is that the guys at O'Reilly's actually helped me out a lot, and they were willing to work with me and sit there and spend time helping me out, trying to figure it out. So I give them a little bit of props there at the O'Reilly's store near where I live, and they were really good. And I'm talking about a bunch of nothing here apparently, because that's all I have here. It's just all new stuff. So and I don't know how to speed this part of the video up, so it's you'll just have to endure or speed it up on your end. And I can't possibly know what the heck I am talking about this long on rear brakes. Oh well. There's the hats for the rear brakes. It's all new. Yeah, I think everybody knows what that is. Or most people. I mean, I could have used discs on it, but I didn't want to take all that apart. I ended up having to take it all apart anyway, because it's a 411 rear end, and I ended up having to fix that because it was just too. The truck wouldn't run over. It wouldn't run over 50 miles an hour, I don't think. But the transmission is 700R, so I thought it might be okay since the overdrive transmission, but it didn't. It wasn't. I had to redo the rear chunk, and I had to put something different in it, like 283 or 2 something. I don't remember what it was. There's some more valve covers I put on the engine. And the cool thing on this truck, I didn't use a carburetor. I put a fuel injection system on it. It's got a Phytech fuel injection system. It works pretty well. There it is. This was the first one I ever did. Phytech fuel injection, first one I ever put on a vehicle. It wasn't very hard at all. It was pretty easy to put on, and it works pretty well. Here I have the linkage to the brake, to the gas pedal, and there's the gas pedal. I made that bracket. I had to make that bracket there to mount it to the floorboard. There's the exhaust system that I got, that I had. Actually, a friend of mine gave that to me, and I cut it apart and reused it, repurposed it. There it is after I cut it apart and repurposed it. And a lot more spaghetti wire starting to take shape there. I painted it. So and there I installed it under the truck. It looked good for about a few days, and then after that it was, you know, that paint never really works well, but it's a heat paint, but it still didn't work. Well, that's it for this video. I appreciate you joining me. Join me again for part 5 in the next video. Thanks a lot.